Good morning everyone, this is Astropagiernus and today we are going to make the most famous bread in the Philippines, Pandesal. Alright, so for this bread we'll be needing 340 grams of flour, 5 grams of yeast, 20 grams of sugar, 10 grams of salt, 42 grams of shortening right there. We also will be needing 202 grams of water, and lastly some breadcrumbs that we just did earlier. So what we are going to do here first is to take this bowl of water, and then we are going to put all of the sugar and of course our yeast. So we will combine them together in the water, and since the sugar is the food for, or rather food for the yeast, it will start to activate. So we will put this aside and we are going to combine our other ingredients. Now we are going to use a big bowl for this one. So we are going to put now the flour and of course distribute the salt, and then we are going to combine the shortening. Then once we did that, we are going to mix this a little bit. Okay, so we are going to make a well, and then we are going to incorporate now the water that we mixed earlier together with the salt, or rather the yeast and the sugar. Once the water is incorporated, you can start mixing it using your hands. Alright, so we will now use our hand to mix the flour and all the ingredients together. And once this is intact, we are going to knead this on the table. So this is all the ingredients, and it is now formed into a dough, so we can now put it on our table and start to knead it. Okay? Alright, so our dough now is on our table, and we're just going to dust with some flour on our table so that it will not stick. So basically there are two ways you could knead your dough. First one is the straightforward method like this one, or side by side method. Go to your right and you go to your left. Okay, so you use your two hands, right and going to the left. And you will know if the dough is okay when you use the window pane method. So after we knead our dough, this is our test that we are going to do, the window pane test, to see if the bread is already okay. So we are going to stretch this and see if it's thin enough. Okay, so you can see now that this bread is already good because it's already thin and it's not breaking. So So that's the window pane test, and this dough passed. So we are now going to rest this for 1 hour. So we get our bowl and put some oil in it so that the dough will not stick. Like 2 tablespoons. And we are going to place our dough, some oil. Okay. We are going to cover this with plastic, and we are going to rest this for 1 hour. We will be back after 1 hour, okay? Don't leave us. Alright, so we are now back, and as we can see, after an hour it almost doubled its size. And what we are going to do is to deflate this dough and cut it into smaller portions. Okay, so now we are going to remove this dough on the bowl and put it on our table and deflate it. Okay, so we just press the dough like that. So we are now going to cut this into smaller portions. We're using here a stainless cutter. You can also use a wooden cutter if you prefer. Okay, so I think this is good enough. So we are going to stretch this in a circular motion and round the dough. Okay, and place it on top of our table right here. So what we are going to do is to wait for another 10 minutes, and then we are going to cut it to smaller pieces for our pandesal.
A few moments later.
Alright, so we are back after 10 minutes, and we are now going to roll this dough horizontally and cut it to small pandesal. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, so this is the size that we wanted. So what we are going to do now is to cut it to small pieces, just like this, like it's around 1.5 inches. We are going to get our breadcrumbs and throw it in. After doing that, it will somehow look like this. So we're just going to wait for this pandesal here to double its size, and when it did that, then we are going to put it inside the oven for 10 minutes or until it's golden brown. Okay, and I'm going to show you that later on.
A few moments later.
Okay, so we are now back, and our pandesal is looking great. So we are going to put it now inside the oven. Okay, so our oven now is very hot, and it's somewhere around 375 degrees, and that's where we are going to bake our pandesal. Alright, so pandesal inside the oven, and we are going to wait for the pandesal to turn brown until we take it out. Okay, so there you have it, beautifully baked golden brown pandesal. Gorgeous.
If this night is not forever, at least we are
Thank you so much for watching, and that's how you make the most famous bread here in the Philippines, pandesal. Please give this video a thumbs up, share, and subscribe. Again, this is your friend Astro Padiernas saying we'll see you on the next video. Bye bye. Good.